Alright, welcome back to part 4. We finished up vaults 1 through 4, and we're going to be moving on to depths. Probably also then Elven Crypt. We'll see how it goes. I think I have pretty much everything I need for that. In general, I'm still looking for an amulet, of course. Resist mutation would be nice. Resist corrosion. Regeneration would be nice just for general healing. Aside from that, I think I'm pretty well covered. I wouldn't mind a better shield. You know, a larger shield that still has a useful ego. But let's just continue on with the depths. Did I leave behind a stone tremors? Because I already have stone tremors. Fair enough. Let's see, I'm training all melee skills, so that's fine. Alright, so he's got summoned minions, and I don't think I have any cold resistance, but I can switch on some cold resistance, so let's do that. And that should be fine. Rod of the Swarm. I'll keep it. I suppose I should probably train some evocations eventually. Can't breathe. Don't want to take a step back. Let's try taking out the water elemental. Let's go ahead and cast Blade Hands, because I'm going to need the damage to cut through this much enemy hit points. Probably be casting Regeneration, because why not? More Regeneration. Most of these packs are pretty non-threatening at this point, especially the Centaurs, which if I ever needed to, I could just slouch to kill them pretty much instantly. Especially if I was slowed by the Torpor Snail. So most of this should be just easy experience, helping me finish off my character. I'm going to need a fair amount more physical skills. I would like to go into things like a little more throwing, a little more evocations. Those are kind of optional. But getting something along those lines is a good idea. Still need one more enchant weapon for that trove. Probably drop the book at this point. Maybe the sack of spiders too. Everything except for Shatter. And just go ahead and memorize Shatter in advance, but you know, not while there's monsters in sight. I probably won't end up casting very much. Shatter, but if I need to amnesia, there's plenty of things I can amnesia. Plenty of scrolls of amnesia. None of those are particularly great right now. Ooh, enchant armor. I wonder what I'll use that on. Is it my crystal plate? Yes, it's my crystal plate. Another buckler. Do a search for shields and just make sure that I haven't left any really good shields behind. I could be tempted to just go for a plain large shield. I think I still have my resist cold on, so this should be okay. Well, I should still toss up blade hands. It's taking me too long to go through these guys. Alright. I'll finish it, but nope. Nope. In trouble. Let's see. Do I want to blink or do I want to heal? Both would save me. I'm getting lower on heal wounds. Could also try fear, but fear is a little bit less certain. I'm gonna go with a blink. And we'll go over here to the side. Get my regeneration going. Quaff a couple cheap potions of curing because I have the time. And what the heck? Nah, don't want to bother switching to rods because I have to cancel blade hands. Can't use them while I'm under blade hands. I could do my Vile Floods. So yeah, a little bit too much tabbing there. Really? Oh, it's because I'm under blade hands. Okay. Don't cast blade hand regeneration while in blade hands. At least not with armor as heavy as mine. You can do it with lighter armor. Could really use some repel missiles at this point, but all I have is the deflect, which I can't cast. Do I still have ridiculous amounts of magic resistance? Yeah. You want to be especially careful of vaults in the depths because a lot of vaults in the depths are very, very nasty. You know, designed to be borderline unfair, and they succeed. But there's a nice artifact ring, so that'll probably be very good. Do I have? Yeah, I do have identify. So let's identify digging. We don't want to waste charges. And let's let some monsters out. Oof. We could pick up some mutations here. Let's try and get out of line of sight of the mutator. I think he can shoot through that grate. I'm not sure. Let's try shouting, see if we can get him to come down here. There he goes. Gotta be careful. Did I pick anything up? No. Let's just temporal distortion to get him directly into melee range. More of them. I guess I could use some piety to slouch him. Let's check his speed. Yeah, it's slow. So I mean, it'll still damage him, but not as much. I'll just cut through. So that we can try and pull him a little closer. Lost 2 dexterity, not too bad. I'm gonna just dig all of these walls. Got paralyzed. giant eyeballs are one of the few things that can paralyze through magic resistance, and are especially dangerous because of that. Fire and +3, not what I'm looking for. Okay, so we picked up -2 dexterity, but we can live with that. Miscasting at 6%. I don't have any fire resistance yet. I can only have fire or cold, unless I give up my +5 evasion. So it's hard to hit Spriggans, but if you land Constriction on them, you never have to pass an evasion check again. Oh, I should check how much my crystal armor is slowing down my attacks again. 0.8, not too bad. Let's see, 17, so that should be a base of 0.7 aughts, about, roughly. I think it's 16.6 or something is 7 aughts. Whatever it is, I'm pretty close to that. The shield can add +1. So it looks like my armor's pretty close to only +1. Did see one 6-aught attack, which would mean that it can also roll 0, so it's slightly less than 1. Yeah, there wasn't the +6. So my armor's probably adding something like 0.8 or 0.9, and then my shield adds 50% of the time. Look, another Guardian Spirit. Ice Dragon, I think I'm still wearing ice, yeah. Miscasting Blade Hands again, come on. So many 6% fails. Let's go ahead and drag these people around. Should probably have also gotten regeneration going. Better late than never. Alright, we'll switch to fire. And we'll toss on Blade Hands. Just get that summoner up here. There we go. Legend of Shadows is an extremely powerful and perhaps overpowered escape item. Makes it very easy to get away. Lowers your line of sight, and if you can't see monsters, monsters can't see you, so it's very powerful. And it spawns friendly shadows. But I don't use it because it's just too good. And, you know, we're strong enough as it is. Matter of principle. Alright, we got another Flayed Ghost, and I still haven't found Stone Skin. I do have statue form, just not Stone Skin, if I recall correctly. Don't like this. Don't like this one bit. But we can back up and should be okay. We can take him a little more slowly here. So let's see. I don't want to cast Regeneration right now. Which is a shame because I would really like to have Regeneration right now. Fairly limited on ranged options when you're in blade hands. Probably just want to pass turn. Maybe I could quaff like an agility or something to help out. Lost my blade hand, so I'll take the opportunity to put up Regeneration, and then we'll go through the trolls. Alright, so tab there gave me a step forward, which I did not want, and did actually put me in significant danger, but not enough to kill me. Be careful with the tabs. Another artifact ring. I did drop the other one, right? Yeah. Let's drop lightning rod. Don't really care. I wonder how many attacks he gets when I walk into space, next to him. Looks like it was only 4. I would kind of expect him to hit like 5 or 6 times, honestly. I don't know if I really care about Rod of the Swarm. I think Rod of the Shadows is a little bit stronger, but it's probably the Rod of the Swarm probably gets really strong if you have enough evocations, I'm gonna assume. More infinite sources of invisibility. They're just really trying to get me to use evocations this game. Which again, if I was a smart person, I would do. But I just have so many melee skills that need training. The air twists around you violently and strikes you in flight. Health restored, full life. I don't think I even have any source of regeneration. I didn't have the spell up and I don't have any regeneration equipment. But I do have 200 hit points. Your regeneration rate is based off of your maximum hit points, in addition to any regeneration effects that you also have. Alright, this is rather swamped, and we've got Marjorie, who comes with her Hell Knight party. I will just fight for as long as possible, and then we're going to go up the stairs. There's that inner fire, and I did not... No, I did have protection from fire on. Good for me. This is why I really like having at least 1 pip of protection from fire and cold at all times without having to swap it, because I will check after I kill 30 monsters, like, what resistance did I actually have? I don't know. So, I always just feel better when I have 1 fire, 1 cold, 3 pips of magic resistance. Those are the ones I really want. I always appreciate also having poison resistance, but as a Naga, you're just given that. Vampiric Battle Axe, not bad. Terrible wounds. Okay, yeah, so that was a flay that did all that damage. Ooh, and somebody has a distortion weapon, I'm guessing. Yeah, it's the Hell Knight. Two Ettins and 84 hit points. So that's one of those situations in Crawl where I was reasonably safe. I'm not too likely to take 80 damage, even with 2 Ettins. But it's absolutely possible they could have just died in one turn immediately if they happen to get high rolls on their damage, even though it's quite unlikely that they would have. So, you know, support your local campaign to reduce combat damage variance. Yeah, I think I might want to give up on this staircase. I just don't like being flayed every time I walk down. I still have that unidentified artifact ring, so let's see what it is. Fly and poison. Two things I already have. Warding. Not the best, but better than nothing. Have a little bit less here. Let's back up a little bit. Let them come to me. Fortunately, she's wasting her turns on Magic Dart, and she's also stuck behind that water. And let's just walk up to her. I think after... Okay, she can cast Fireball. Have to give up half your hit points just to get there. But that's alright, because most things will just die immediately once you get to them. Dragon armor, not bad. But we already have the super heavy armor that we're keeping forever. Oh, Boris. The only unique who you can kill repeatedly, and he will keep coming back. Definitely want blade hands out for Emperor Scorpion. I wonder what their AC is. I'm not actually sure, but it's pretty high. Maybe I'll drop some of these wands that I won't use anymore, like paralysis. Most of the rest stuff I kind of like. I don't think I'm going to be using the Discus Storms much. Don't need the Wand of Frost either, but there we go. At least now we've identified them. Okay, I don't think I have any ice resistance, but he'll die quickly. There's 4 exclamation points on the Shredding the Deep Elf Sorcerer. Should be able to get up to 5 exclamation points soon, if not already. But your chances of seeing that damage is a rather low probability. You have to attack a lot to finally land a hit like that. Let's see. Just a bunch of 3s. Choose some 3s. Another Lantern of Shadows. Oh, hey, some branded javelins. That's good. Now I can definitely train up throwing. I'll have plenty of javelins to use for the rest of the game. is that? Book of Callings. Alright, the last standard 4 of depths. The depths 5 is the actual final 4, but it typically has a decent sized Zot entry vault with Draconian, so it's a little bit tougher than the rest of regular vault floors. Alright, let's bring those guys down a little closer. And cast that fireball. Lich fireballed himself to death. Poor Lich. Lost blade hands, but only one guy left. I seem to have lost a lot of AC. Don't have any mutations. I'm still using the same equipment. I mean, I even upgraded the buckler, and not the buckler, the cloak. I mean, the gloves are melded, but okay, it's the gloves and the shield has the +3. That's why I'm losing 7 AC to go into blade hands. It's not a serious problem, of course, because 43 is still a lot of AC. Alright, so I could use that for cold resistance if I really want to maintain cold resistance at this point. I would be happier if it was a medium or large shield of cold resistance. But yeah, I'll keep it for now. Of course it will not be cold resistant if I use blade hands. That was teleportation. Killed him before he could hit me with any ice. Chance of an even better cloak. Staff of Earth. I'm not gonna hold out for that. Not that I really need to have the spell power. For statue form, really. Probably won't be casting Shatter anytime soon. Alright, well that's not a good cloak. Maybe I should get deflected missiles going. I could use a little more charms anyway. +0 magic resistance. If I didn't have the Mask of the Dragon, that might be useful, but I don't really need magic resistance at all. If you're not playing a Naga, you might need more magic resistance, but Nagas get quite a bit of magic resistance on their own, so that's why in this particular case I don't need more than one item of magic resistance. But if I was playing a human or something like that, I would probably use the magic resistance cloak at this point. Just in case you find yourself doing something like this on a different race. Taking a lot of damage here. Do not like that they're all hasted. Let's go ahead and give them a slouch. We can at least get the regular troll in one shot. Iron Troll has a little bit too much health. Okay, that's a lot of Simulacra. I do have resist cold because the shield is not melted. Probably going to want to either blink out or I can try slouching to kill them all immediately. It'll probably take 2 slouches, maybe 3. Let's try the slouch. Alright, 2 got most of them. I'm gonna give it a 3rd. Still have some iron trolls here. Those are durable mosses. Okay. Got no damage, so their cold effect did not trigger. They have to hit you with regular melee damage before they can trigger their cold damage. So having massive armor is effective against that. Quicksilver Dragon. Still getting Catoblipas. Bet you if I petrified over water, I probably could die. Some Vault Desire is probably a really mean person who decided to stick that guy near water. Unless, of course, it's just randomly generated, in which case, it's just the game is a bastard, that's all. Alright. This is probably the Enchantress up here. One of the carryovers also from the Enchanted Forest. They brought the Enchantress into her own depths vaults. Let's see if I am right. Alright, we shouted, we got some attention. Let's bring them on back. Looks like some relatively standard trolls, dragons, and yaks. I should probably stop flying when there's titans around because I'll take extra damage from airstrike. Come to me. I don't want to walk to you. You have to walk to me. Level 24. Let's go into strength. I could probably put my last one into intelligence again, but for now, a little more strength can't hurt. Make sure that I'm really not taking delay to melee combat from my heavy armor. Went and cast regeneration, and then the Cyclops killed the ice dragon for me. Made me step downwards because I was not expecting the ice dragon to spontaneously die for me. Oh, that's nice. It warned me not to cast a spell at 63% fail. Well, if this is an Enchantress vault, it's certainly light on Spriggans, so I may have been entirely wrong about that. There's one Spriggan. The EV is still not as high as I was expecting. Like, you know, as I'm training armor and dodging, I was kind of expecting it to go a little bit faster than this. The legendary smithy, not a very good smithy. He did have a lot of gold, though. I guess he was really legendary at bartering. Well, the jerky shop sells actual jerky, as opposed to negatively enchanted jerky. But I'm not holding out much hope for there being good shops in here. Bogarts are low enough health that even throwing a javelin could kill one. But, hey, there you go. She really want to mutate. I wonder if these ones would let you get experience for killing them. Where's J? J is transmutation. We'll go ahead and just waste it. Yep. These ones, unlike Pycles, will actually give you experience. There you go. So the game has an inconsistent belief as to whether or not slavery should yield experience. Came kind of close to making that whip decent, but no. At least as far as things that have a base of whip, base weapon type of whip, go. Scroll of enchant armor. Can't carry it. Might be time to give up on the nets. I mean, they are pretty useful at all times, but you know, eventually things just gotta go. Another potion mutation. My melee skills are starting to get decent. I think I could probably stop training fighting, maybe turn off dodging as well. Turn on charms for a little bit, try working on... Yeah, deflect missiles is going to take a long time, but at least I can get a little bit of more regeneration spell power on the way. Maybe I can get back to being able to cast regeneration while Blade Hands is on. Not that that's super important, but I always just like not having to worry about remembering if I can cast Blade Hands at any given time. I wonder how new this vault is, because I have not seen this one before. It's a cool little village, though. Complete with altars and shops you don't want to use. I suppose giving you actually useful vaults, actually useful shops at this point would be a little bit powerful. You don't need to hand out that much more equipment. At this point in the game, you probably have more golds than you can spend. Flag, don't need that. I'll also do Depth 5, despite having the Zot entrance on it. It's not too hard for this character to take. Although walking into Orb of Destructions is always fun. But now that we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, or 5 attacks. A couple of them missed. Well, actually, that one hit and did 0 damage. That's impressive. Jory too. Okay. Jory has a crystal spear that if he manages to hit me with when I'm at 118 could be very bad. But he's already in melee range, so let's constrict him and give it a shot. He's picking up a scroll of teleportation and dies 2 turns later. Wasted his last turn trying to enslave me, which with my magic resistance is not going to work. I believe it's enslave, the spell. I scroll a teleport, which Jory attempted to steal. Well, Blade Hands and Regeneration are a little more castable, but Deflect Missile is still at 100% fail. Got away with it, 32% fail. But at least it's not a heavy miscast anymore. We have a decent choke point here, but this could be very dangerous with Saint Roka. It has a rather large band and smiting attacks. But we have our regeneration. We're going to recast our Blade Hands. And like I said, it's pretty decent choke points, so I do not want to see Ghost Moth taking all my mana. That's bad. Okay, apparently it was a shapeshifter. That's an improvement. Oh, he's got an electric weapon. That's nice. At least I can start getting some mana back. I'm just passing turns to try and get things into melee range. Didn't want to walk forward until there were very few things left. War Axe of Electrocution, not a very good base type. Couple bolts and some armors. That's probably a Ziggurat. Yes, it is. I'll probably end up running a couple floors for the Ziggurat, but not very deep. You know, when you're more of a melee character and you don't have Maclub for the healing, you don't want to go too deep in a Ziggurat. I have Warding, but can't reach the brain. There we go. Still have a little bit too much, damage potential. These guys can hit a little too hard for me to want to just walk towards them. Let's try a Temporal Distortion, bring them a little closer. Can't cast Regeneration right now. I did try once, but failed. Let's try again. There we go. Titan Skeleton, come on over here, buddy. the Shadow Dragon would be dangerous, but I have pretty high negative energy resistance, so I'm not too worried. Just hang out here and regenerate. More Draconians. At least this guy had the good sense in life to become a monk. So, I do approve of his life choices. Yeah, I would probably go ahead and quaff that. Probably drop the backup Wand of Fire. I'm not even using the first Wand of Fire. Pair of Horns. Not terribly useful, but it doesn't conflict with my mask, so that's okay. Let's see. We might as well identify the Wand of Disintegration. It's the last unidentified item I have. Deflect missile still 100%, even when not in blade hands. Let's see how effective my javelins are. Reasonably good. Gonna need more throwing if I'm gonna, use it more seriously though. Very ugly things have become quite nasty lately. I'm gonna go ahead and just preemptively get out of here. Gonna use this step from time to just clear them out. Into my transformation so I can get regeneration going as quickly as possible. Throw in a little more regeneration. Don't want to get rotted, so I'm going to focus on the Death Strike first. That's a ball of steam, so we can just go ahead. Thank you for the steam cover. That was very kind of you. Alright, got a 4 exclamation point attack on the Kato whatever. Which is nice of him to not make me dance all over the place. Gonna turn off unarmed for now, 19. Let's take it up to 20. But fairly soon I'll turn that off. I don't really need it much higher. So mostly now I'm trying to get faster attacks rather than more damage. I don't really need more damage. Let's back up a little bit just to get a few more tiles out of my line of sight. Skeletal Warrior's not going to come close to me with a glaive, so we'll go back forward. And we'll tap him down. Vampire Knight, also with a glaive. Yeah, those are both glaives. Polearms can be somewhat frustrating as a follower of Chi. Dispel Undead's reasonably helpful. Animate Dead's also pretty helpful. Sigotubby's Embrace. Could do that for armor and shield if I wanted to, but I'm probably not going to bother. It doesn't work with Stone Skin if I ever did find Stone Skin, but still don't have that somehow. Can't find Stone Skin. No, we're not going to keep going back up there. Let's turn flight back on. See what's over here. See if I can somehow hit the wrong key and get myself burned to death in lava. This is a new vault for me as well, and it seems like they have been adding more and more. Decent amount of loot too. Intelligence, I believe I had turned those off, but apparently not. Water rings I haven't turned off yet. Okay. No, let's just go in the front door rather than wander about this forever. I'm a snake. I shouldn't be getting poisoned. Far too much poison. Come on, I thought I had resistance. I think they reduced poison resistance to be 66% instead of the 90% it used to be. Could be wrong about that though. Not really sure if I want to keep charging forward on these guys. 28% on regen, so we can probably do some blade hand regeneration. Pass a turn, try and get somebody into melee range. Alright, how about distortion? There we go. Dispel and freezing. Well, I don't have any cold resistance. I'll go for another step from time. Alright, so we still have the cold draconian here, so get the resist cold shield back on. We can try javelining it, but not gonna really do much. Let's get behind the wall and regenerate a little. Let him come to us. Oh, he actually lost sight of me. That's interesting. How stealthy am I? Extremely unstealthy. Alright, well, he doesn't have a very good memory. Let's just try walking away. Maybe that's a different... Okay, it's probably a different one. But the real one isn't coming either, so... Lots of white ones. I still really don't have that much in the way of actually interesting spells to cast. I'll take combat off now. I want to start training some air magic if I'm ever going to get it. Can't even take one step forward. Gonna need to start training some air if I'm ever going to cast the deflect missiles. I would honestly prefer repel missiles, but we don't have it. Maybe I shouldn't even be bothering at all. I certainly have plenty of other skills that need to be trained. There's our entrance to Zot. We cannot currently enter it because I only have 2 runes instead of the 3 that you have to get in. Not much that the cloak could be better, but if it's +2, then that's, you know, 1 more AC than what I have. Hey, deflect missiles 99%. I wonder how much wizardry would take off. Because I could probably cast it relatively soon with wizardry. Hey, +2, I'll take that. I don't use invisibility. That's one more armor. Tapped myself into some rotten. But plenty of curing potions, so we will survive. Let's focus on our Death Drake buddy, who we have headbutted. Foul Vapor. I don't like the sound of that. Let's get rid of it. 2 Death Drakes now. My asthma. Let's just go ahead and slouch. I should kill both of the Death Drakes, but not quite. Okay, we'll do it one more. I quaff curing now just to get rid of all of the rotten slug before. And the sickness and all that before it starts to rack up points of rotting. If I have to keep on using temporal distortion on these things every time, I'm going to start running out of piety. Alright, we'll just go for it and use another potion of curing. Let's add Death Drakes to the list of monsters that I would be happy with getting rid of. Let's see if we can get the Lich next to us. Yes. Oh boy, that's a lot of summons. I do have warding, but that will not protect me from torment. Fortunately, we only took one of them. So, not too bad, but yeah. This is why I like to have abjuration. Haven't found either abjuration spells yet. Alright, so that's it for depths. I could now do Vaults 5. I think I will do Elf. I do like doing Elf. There's still quite a few things that I'm looking for that I'm missing, such as Stone Skin, such as Abjuration, Resist Mutation Amulet, Regeneration Amulet, etc., etc. And I wouldn't mind if I could find something that has a little more fire and cold resistance, either like an Artifact Ring or, I don't know, a Barding something, Cloak, and then, I mean, it would have to be an Artifact Cloak to have fire or cold resistance. Food. So they've recently shortened Elf slightly by moving the Hall of Blades, which used to be a separate one-floor branch, into the second floor of the Elven Halls. So you can come here if you're looking for a weapon, but that's not something that happens particularly often. Usually by this point you already have a good weapon, and fighting weapons that can have distortion or other nasty brands is usually not the best idea. I'm just gonna fight them because I can and because why not. I don't think I'm gonna bother with minions just because they're annoying, but Animate Dead is usually a spell that's pretty good for anybody to pick up at any time. Or Animate Skeleton if you want to have a slightly easier to cast version, not quite as good but mostly as good, and it's level 1. Amulet of Faith. Well, I'll keep it on for a little while, but cheap hide is pretty easy to come by. Everything in the game gives it to you except for like 1 or 2 of the slowest monsters that exist, like giant eyeballs. And it doesn't decay. You know what, yeah, actually we'll go back to warding. Just because I don't want to be down at 4-star piety when I get to Elf 3. More of this miasma. I don't remember there being this many Death Drakes in Elf, but I mean, I guess most of them were from Depths. This is the first one in Elf. I'm gonna keep the Amulet of Faith around, but I find it kind of annoying to use it if you've already gotten to the late game because you're gonna want to be switching amulets every so often. It's really nice if you find Faith in the early game. And of course that changes based on what god you're worshipping, but you know, for most of them. Come on. Alright, so that was a pretty fast elf one. Oh, we have a wizard lab here. That's good. I will take all the opportunities for extra loot. How's my deflect missiles doing? Still 99%. How many magic mappings do I have? More than I need. Okay, so that's probably the Wiz portal. Yeah, that's the only portal on the floor. Well, let's head that way. Maybe we can get a Fleshworks and mutate ourselves. Gem before we go in, just in case. It's the machine works or whatever, which has these strange machines, which I do believe can give you experience from the weapons they produce. And apparently they can blink you through any sort of magic resistance, so this is actually going to be very annoying. But if they blink me towards them, then I can certainly kill them. Crystal Clear Mirror. I'm not exactly sure what breaks that. I think that it can be broken. Can we dig that? Yes. Not that there's very much here. Yeah, this is one of the portals that really just doesn't have that much loot. Although I will take that back if this is a wand of healing. I'll drop silence. Wand of healing wounds, take it back. Let's go ahead and identify that immediately. 5, and I have 4 scrolls of recharging, so heal wounds is pretty much no longer a limited resource. Let's see if we can just disintegrate instead. Blink me closer to you, come on. There we go. Book of Enchantments. If I needed haste, that would be where to get it from. Could have learned Silence, but I don't know, I'm probably not going to bother. Come on. Can try some javelins just so I can actually throw them. Anyway, that should be all of the actual loot in here. I guess I can just leave. If I can make it to the exit portal. This has been rather amusing. Not something that happens very often, but blinking monsters can be extremely frustrating. Confused by a tarantula. Let's keep trying to strike the summoner, and if I actually land some hits on the summoner, there they go. Alright, so a giant room on the left is the Hall of Blades. With all of the enchanted dancing weapons. Interrupting my auto explore, so we'll just go over there and kill him. More blinking monsters. At least they're blinking themselves and not me. Keep an eye on, just in case you see, go through this a little bit more slowly. Keep an eye out for like distortion weapons, or I suppose something that's fast with draining could also be annoying, but mostly it's the distortion weapons. Chaos, pain can do a lot of damage, electrocution in terms of damage, but usually I'm more worried about special effects like chaos and distortion. Magic, that could be, a problem if you're more mana based than I am. I don't have too much trouble fighting with no mana. Alright, I'm not really sure exactly how long this part has been going on for, but I believe I'm going to take a brief break. I might come right back and do another part after this, but for now at least I'm going to take a short break, and we'll clear out Elf 3 in the next part. So take care, see you soon.